diversity, social diversity, learning differences. That's another one that's forgotten a lot when we talk about diversity on campus. Cultural expectations, diversity of cultural expectations is the last. The second strategic issue, and I promise you I'm not going to talk as long on the second and third one as I did on the first. The second strategic issue that we see today is greater pressure on tuition and financial aid, the financial issues that we face today. All of you are connected with public colleges, universities, or public schools in some way, and you understand the issues, the pressure that's being placed on you and me by the finances of this economy. Merit scholarships have become very, very big, very important to people today. Unfortunately, merit scholarships from the parents' perspective have almost become an entitlement. They think that it's an entitlement that their child will get a merit scholarship if they're in the top 5% of the class or something of this nature. So universities are faced with dealing with this. In a conference that I was attending not long ago, there was Representative Moody's, which is the rating service for colleges and universities and public schools. He was talking, and he's talking about the financial issues that colleges and universities now face. And he pointed out 5 things: the intensified pressure on tuition and financial aid, the broad impact on investments. Any of us with an endowment know the impact on that. The lack of liquidity on balance sheets, that's a real major challenge that we all have. And the vulnerability of dead markets, and there are some dead markets for students. The tipping point of prices in higher education was the net worth decline of households, which has become even greater pressure on students. The question is, how do parents repay loans, or how do students repay loans if they go through school and they have to repay a loan? There's a lot to be said relative to the financial issues in higher education, but I want to point out one final thing here, and I'll skip over to this. As we look at these issues that we face, whether they be diversity, whether they be financial, or whatever the issue we look at, one of the things that's real important, and I think one of the things that's beneficial from groups of this nature, is that there must be developed partnerships among colleges. There must be developed partnerships between secondary institutions and colleges, and between these partnerships that I talk about are more than just shaking of the hand and acknowledgement of the existence. I'm talking about partnerships where we're really doing programs together. We're really helping each other out. There's no way that DISD can cut the attrition rate of students dropping out of school in DISD without the help of higher education and institutions of higher education. You try a lot of things. The superintendent, I'm sure, has a lot of thoughts on that. But one of the ways in which you address that is by creating partnerships and having a more seamless effort made to move students through the public school sector into either technical programs or practical vocational programs and on into higher education opportunities. It is very, very important that we recognize one other thing. As the Higher Education Act of 2008 was going through, and as the economic stimulus package was going through just recently, one of the big issues that came about during that was whether or not increasing the Pell Grant on college campuses was really going to provide a stimulus to the economy. When I saw that, I thought, that really is an interesting question, and one that's so obvious to me that it is going to be a stimulus to the economy, but so foreign to many policymakers that they really do not realize that it is a stimulus to the economy. The human capital, the investment in human capital, providing students with an opportunity to grow and to find their niche in society through education is really critical. So what I challenge you today is that as you deal with the policymakers that you work with on a day-to-day basis, as you have the opportunity to interact with people in Austin or in Washington, that you stress to them the importance of investing in our students through good, strong financial aid programs. We talk about closing the gap in Texas between students who do not go to college and students who go to college. But when you get into the legislature and you start talking about financial aid, you start looking at barriers that are raised to prevent students from being able to come to college rather than opening doors and tearing down these barriers. And the only way that can change is if you and I talk to these people and emphasize to them the importance of investing in human capital. That, to me, is one of come from a family. I'm a first generation college student. No one on either side of my family had ever gone to college when I came along. My dad finished the 8th grade, and as I grew up, I worked with him as a carpenter, and literally he was so intense on me working with him that he didn't really understand about the importance of athletics and things of this nature. He didn't think that was very important. More important, I was there helping him build houses, repair houses, whatever the case might be. But he had an 8th grade education. But as I went through, worked with him for 18 years almost, while I was growing up, going to college. The one thing that was always at the forefront of his mind was that I was going to go to college. Never a question about if you go to college, it's when you go to college. He understood the value of education, and unfortunately, I'm not too sure all of our policymakers understand the importance of education. And we have to do a better job of educating our policymakers and helping them understand the changes that are occurring in society and the critical nature of educating the new students, the new millennial students, the new minority students, the new majority students that will be actually be the majority students by 2020 who are coming into our colleges and universities today. And the one way that they can help immensely is by providing the means for these students to come to our institutions. Diversity is more than just ethnic, it's economic. And not everyone's blessed with the ability to pay for a college education or to even pay for the clothes to go to high school that they might go. So that means that we have to recognize that economic diversity and find ways to close those gaps. I appreciate your attention, and I hope that some of the comments I make today can help you in your thinking about higher education and secondary education, and perhaps together